You've probably spent a few minutes scrolling through endless pictures of backyard parties, weddings, or a garage sale setup, wondering if there's a tent out there that won't flop when a sudden gust hits, that won't feel like a flimsy tarp, and that actually gives you the space you need without draining your wallet. That hesitation is real. Buying a cheap pop-up can end in a soggy mess, while a high-end model can leave you wondering if you overpaid for a few extra poles. I've been in the market for a reliable, easy-to-use shelter for the past year, reading forums, watching unboxing videos, and even talking to a few event planners before I finally settled on the Quictent 20x20 heavy-duty high-peak frame party tent with sides. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the thing that made me pause was the promise of a high-peak design. In theory, a steeper roof should shed water faster than a low-slope canopy, which matters when you're setting up for an outdoor birthday in early spring or a summer evening barbecue that runs into a drizzle. The frame itself is built from 1.5-inch steel tubes, noticeably thicker than the 1-inch pipes you see on many budget tents. That extra heft translates to a sturdier feel when you're tightening the tension rods, and it also gives the whole structure a little more resistance to wind wobble. In practice, I set this tent up in my backyard on a day the forecast called for 15 miles per hour gusts. After the usual 4-person crew got the poles in place and secured the guy lines, the tent stood firm. No flapping, no squeaking, just a solid, high-peak roof that let rain slide off like it was meant to. The fabric is another point that separates this tent from the keeper plastic crowd. Quictent uses a 19-ounce PVC canvas, which is roughly double the thickness of the typical 8-ounce Canopy fabric you see on discount models. The material feels heavy enough to stay put, yet it's still flexible enough to fold down without tearing. I tested it by hanging a set of string lights across the interior, and then pulling a garden hose on the side to simulate a sudden downpour. The water ran off the peak quickly, and the sides, thanks to the zip-up panels, kept the interior dry. The PVC also resisted the usual UV yellowing I've seen on cheaper tents after a couple of summers in the sun. Now, let's talk about the sides. They're not just an afterthought. They zip on and off with a heavy-duty zipper that actually slides, rather than getting stuck halfway like on some low-quality zippered canopies. Having the walls in place turns the tent from a simple shade structure into a semi-enclosed room. I used them for a weekend craft fair where I needed a controlled environment for a few tables and a small heater. The walls blocked out the wind and gave a little privacy without feeling cramped. On the flip side, the zippered panels add a few extra minutes to the setup time, about 10 minutes, more than a bare-bones canopy, and you'll need to keep an eye on the zipper teeth if you store the tent for a long stretch. In my experience, the zipper held up after a full season of weekly use, but it's something to note if you plan to open and close the sides every day. Who should consider this tent? If you're an avid host, whether you're planning family reunions, a pop-up market, a birthday bash, or a community fundraiser, and you need a space that can handle a modest crowd, the 20x20 footprint comfortably fits about 3,040 people with tables and chairs. This is a solid pick. The high-peak roof makes it especially attractive for anyone who lives in an area with unpredictable rain. The added sides are a boon for vendors or anyone who wants a bit of weather protection while still feeling open to the outdoors. The lifetime accessories guarantee on the connectors also adds peace of mind. I've never had to replace a connector on any tent, but knowing the company stands behind those little metal bits is reassuring. On the other hand, if you're looking for a portable, one-person camping shelter, or a quick setup beach umbrella, this isn't the right fit. The steel frame and thick PVC add weight. This tent weighs close to 70 pounds, so you'll need a vehicle, or a few strong friends to move it. The setup, while not rocket science, does require a bit of planning, a level surface, and a few extra hands for the guy lines and side panels. For a minimalist who just wants a pop-up shade for a lawn game, the cost and effort might feel excessive. Practical strengths are easy to sum up. The high-peak roof truly sheds water fast, the 19-ounce PVC fabric holds up against sun, wind, and occasional bumps, The 1.5-inch steel frame gives a feeling of permanence without being a permanent structure. And the zippered sides add versatility for semi-indoor events. The lifetime accessories guarantee on connectors is a rarity in this price range, meaning you won't be left scrambling for a replacement bolt after